All right. Welcome back. It's a few days post Christmas. I'm ready to dive into chapter 3, so let's make it happen. But first, actually, so on my not my last video, but 2 videos ago at this point, I got a comment right here. And basically, it was asking about what my process is and why I do basically a dialogue version of the story, and then I'm going through and writing and adding other pieces of it like I am in the novelization right now. And the main reason is because the actual process that I'm following, it's kind of a few stages along the track to get to the end point that I want, which is going to be, another season of the podcast and also a novelization of that same season. So when I'm planning things out, I'm planning pretty meticulously. I mean, you'll see all this more so in the spring when I'm working on season 6. But when I'm planning things out, I take care of all that stuff. Then I move into the writing phase, hopefully sometime in the summer of next year for season 6, where I'll actually just go through, take the plans, write out the scenes as they're meant to happen in the podcast, as a script for the podcast. As just an audio experience, it's going to be all dialogue, basically. Dialogue and then maybe some sound effects or whatever. So the scripts themselves don't need to have very much scene description or character description or anything like that, because the dialogue in the actual scenes is going to be kind of carrying a lot of the weight. And then after I finish writing the scripts, I set it aside for a year, come back to it the following year, and I read through it. And as I go, I turn it into a novel. I take each scene by scene, put it up, and I just basically rewrite it, but as prose in like a novelization format. So it is, when it's a novel, it reads like a book. It reads like a normal book. It does not read like a script or anything, but it has the exact same story and all the same characters, all the same moments happen, but has a lot more description to it because it's not an audio medium. It has to kind of fill in the gaps that an audio drama, like there's no acting in a novel basically. So I'm going to have to make sure that the way that the characters sound comes across in the writing. But yeah, basically I just want to make sure that I am kind of covering my bases because I go through multiple processes to get to the end point. There's the planning stage, there's the writing the scripts stage, and then it kind of branches from there into like production of the actual podcast itself, which is, down the road for season 2. And then there is the writing the novel version of the production where I do need the script as the base layer, but I also can't only use that if I want to have a satisfying reading experience for people. So I have to go through and kind of add meat to the bone. And that is where we're at right now. We're working on book 4 of my audio drama. It's a full cast audio drama in the style of Serial, and it is available on any podcast platform, totally free. My name's Colton Woods, and I am the creator of Strange Trails. Welcome to my channel. We're going to be diving into chapter 3 today in this video. Ideally, it will be completed by the end of the video, but I guess that's, you'll have to scrub through to find out if I did it. Because I don't know if I can yet. But yeah, I'm going to just jump in and I'm going to start writing and we'll see where we land. Okay, so it's the next day. I didn't make it back to record any more videos. Well, first of all, if I sound different, I switched up the microphone. I had the DJI mic minis and I loved them, but they would not reliably connect to my phone. So there'd be times I'd record entire clips and just there'd be no audio except camera audio from the actual phone, and I didn't want to have to be dealing with all that. So I'm going to have to return those. I'm going with these. But where did we land yesterday, word count wise? So Episode 3 has like 55 pages or something in it, and if I divide that into 3, that's about 18 pages a day. If I write 18 pages of the script, transitioning it into the novel each day, I'll be done in 3 days, which is great. Yesterday, the part that you saw me writing was about 13 pages of the script, which is pretty good, but not quite the goal. And I had to stop because we ended up having a family dinner. It was the last night that my sister was here visiting for the holidays and stuff. My brother came over, all that stuff. We had a whole thing. We built the Lego maple tree that we got my mom for her birthday back in October. And then after that, and that came out pretty cool, actually. It was a lot bigger than I thought it was going to end up being. And then we played some Catan, which also was pretty fun. So we got to play some games and build some stuff, and I had a good time. But in the process, I did not get to do very much writing. So when all that ended and we were calling it a night, most people were going to bed, and I was debating what to do with the rest of my night because I did not feel like writing. I had no interest in writing at that point. But I hadn't hit the goal yet, and it was really going to bug me if I didn't hit the goal. So I decided to sit my ass down in front of the computer and to write for another hour and a half, and I did it. I got to page 18 of the script, got where I wanted to be. So currently, the book itself is sitting just over 31,000 words, which is pretty awesome. And yesterday, I ended up writing 4,500 words, which also amazing. So if I can do that again today, we're in a pretty good spot. So I mean, let's give it a shot, right? Let's go. Okay, we're back. Yeah, so it's a bit later. I've been writing, and I have done my 18 pages for the day, that is a lot of pages when I say that out loud. We're sitting currently for the day at 4,200 words, which pretty good. And overall, we're at 35,600 words. Today's my last day off. I am off on New Year's Eve. So that was my last day. So I do have the opportunity to actually do the last 18 pages and finish it on New Year's Eve and actually be right on track with my finishing 3 chapters by the end of the year goal. Because I am doing 10-hour days again this week. So I will not have time to write again until literally New Year's Eve. And then I won't even be able to write again after New Year's Eve until basically the following week, Wednesday, which is insane. But that's my work schedule. So we're gonna just do what we can with the time that we have. And right now I'm still on track, so I'm hoping I can stay that way. So it's December 30th. I just got home from an 11-hour day at work. It's 8 p.m. It's 8 p.m. on December 30th. I'm exhausted, but I'm still going to write because I refuse to not be productive in some way. I have to do something for the book today. That's how I feel. I have the night off. We're going to do something. We're going to write. So I think I'm going to just finish the scene that I was in the middle of last time I wrote, whatever day that was. And we're going to call it there. And it's like 5.5 pages left of the scene, basically. So maybe this is like 45 minutes, an hour of writing, and then I'm going to chill. So just a heads up, that's what we're doing. Oh my God. Okay. We're done. It's 9:05. It was almost exactly an hour of writing, and we did it. I ended up writing 1666 words, which is basically a NaNoWriMo day's worth of writing. So I feel productive and I feel good about it. I feel like I can chill now and not like feel guilty about, not accomplishing something or not using the free time that I had. And I know that that's maybe not the best mentality to have. Like, you should have free time, but I'm behind where I wanted to be because of the move this year. I lost 2.5 months of like working on writing and stuff. Like, normally the book, this novelization part of it, would happen in November and it would be done by like mid-December. Here we are the day before New Year's and I'm like still in chapter 3. So I've reset my goals a little bit to be end of January for writing the book, but that is about a month and a half behind where I would still like to be. So, and I'm positive that next year is going to be even busier. So I want to like move through this as efficiently as possible. I don't want to rush it, but I don't want to be like lagging on it. I want to make sure that any opportunity I have to make progress on it, let's make it. Let's get there. Let's get through this. But I am enjoying it. Like, I do love writing. I just that I want to make sure that I'm not hemming and hawing over things that I can always go back and edit later. Like, this is book 4. This is so far down the road of when it will come out that it's like, just get it down and then you can edit it more later. Even though I do think that, the stuff that I've reread, I've been kind of happy with it. I don't know. I've been feeling good about it. But I want to remind myself that, like, that's all fine down the road. I can always touch it up later. So just get it down on the page now, and then you can edit it as much as you want afterward. So for the rest of my night, what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to start reading this e-arc I got, which is from an author tuber that I watch. Her name is Kate Kavanaugh. Her book's called Thanks for Watching. It comes out in April. I was not expecting to get this e-arc. I've never had an advanced review copy before, advanced reader copy, whatever the R stands for. But yeah, I'm really excited because she's actually the first author tuber that I ever watched. And she's the one that got me into the AuthorTube stuff. And when I was originally watching her, it was the NaNoWriMo where she started working on this book. So it feels very like closing the loop to have the first AuthorTuber's book that I ever read be the first book that I ever saw the first AuthorTuber I've watched write, So it's kind of, it just feels like a full circle moment. It's really fun. So I'm pretty excited to read this. It's like a murder mystery set on an island full of influencers who start getting killed off mysteriously or dying mysteriously, and maybe it's a killer. So that's my understanding going into it. I'm excited to read and find out. I have been waiting for it for literally years, and I'm so excited that it's published. And I don't know her. I've never interacted with her, but I'm really proud of her, and I wish her well, and I can't wait to see her succeed. That's where I'm at. That's my point here, is like, so Kate, you're doing great, and I'm proud of you. Someday I'd love to be in that position. So yeah, that's where I'm going to end my night. All right, so it's the next day. I spent about an hour and a half last night actually reading Thanks for Watching. It was longer than I expected to spend on it because I woke up at 4 a.m. yesterday for work, and it was about 9:30, 10 o'clock by the time I was actually able to start reading. So I made it through. Really enjoying it so far. You meet a lot of characters very quickly, and yet they all have distinct enough personalities where I'm not having any trouble keeping track of who they are. So just like from a technical perspective, I think Kate Kavanaugh has done a really great job so far with the story, and I'm very interested to see where it goes. They're on the flight right now. Today is New Year's Eve. I have literally almost exactly 12 hours to complete my goal for the year, which is completing chapter 3 of book 4 by the end of the year. So I've got about 13 pages left to write, which is really, it's not that much. It's going to be maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours worth of writing, but completely doable. So let's dive in and let's complete this goal. side of the goal. I'm so excited. Okay, so I just completed chapter 3, completed my goal for the month of December, made it happen. It's done. Now I can move on to chapter 4. I ended up writing 3,200 words today, which is applause. Like, that's pretty good. I mean, it's not as much as like some of those like crazy days that I did, but it did what I needed it to do. It got me across the finish line. So I'm feeling really good about it. And now I'm currently sitting at 40,500 words for the book. That's insane. And when did I even start writing this? I don't even remember when I first wrote. Let me check. So I started writing the book on Saturday, December 13th, which means that's like just under 3 weeks of writing, and I'm at 40,000 words. Like, that's wild. And that's including a week where I lost basically the entire week because I was working so much overtime. So honestly, impressive. Like, I'm feeling like I showed up and I achieved my goal, and I feel really good about that. So pat on the back. Like, I need a moment because no one else is going to give it to me. So here I am. Applause to you, Colton. Good job. You stuck with it and you got there. So that, I think, leads pretty well into the next part of the conversation, which is what I want to do for 2026. My resolutions, my goals, what are the plans? Where am I going from here? So the schedule that I have in mind for 2026 is January is going to be just writing the book, right? Book 4, and then potentially edit it at the end of January. And I do feel like I could be on track to do that because I won't be working these crazy overtime hours anymore, which means I shouldn't be losing 5 or 6 days a week. I should be able to write most of the days of the week. So I think I'll be able to finish writing the book and then also do like a quick edit of it by the end of January. February is going to be editing books 1 and 2 of the novelization for the podcast because in August I'm sending book 1 to an editor. That was like literally her earliest slot of availability was August 2026 when I reached out to her back in August of this year. So I'm going to be sending her the book, but the only time I'm going to actually have to be able to go through book 1 is in February of this year. So I'm going to go through that. I'm also going to do book 2 because book 2 will also eventually need to go to an editor at some point, and I don't know when that will be able to happen, but I would rather just also have that it's wrapped up and have everything on the same level at the same time. So all of February is set aside, and I'm taking time off of work that month too. So there will actually be time to sit down and like just focus on working on those 2 books and getting them up to the level that I hope book 4 is at right now with, point of view and stuff like that. After that, March, April, May, and probably June, 4 months, more if I need it, but probably 4 months are going to be spent planning out Strange Trials Season 6. It's a big season. We've been building to it since basically Season 4, so this is kind of like the next arc of the show. The first arc was Seasons 1 through 3, and we got like 4 through 6. Well, it's 4 through 7, but 6 is like the big one. It's a lot. It's a lot to kind of keep in my head and to start to like really wrap things up and, pay off the things that have been getting set up. So I expect it to take a long time to plan that one out. So I'm giving myself 4 months to do it, but honestly, if I need more, I'll take more. Then July, August, September, October, and November, 5 months, are going to be writing Season 6. I genuinely think it's going to take a long time to write Season 6. Normally, previous seasons, what I was able to do was basically write an episode a week once I was actually in the writing mode. But with the way that my schedule at this job works, I don't think I'm going to be able to keep that up. I wasn't able to do it for Season 5, which is why Season 5 went until like the end of November to actually finish writing it before I could even start working on the book. So I'm going to assume that it's going to take a long time to do. So I'm giving myself basically the rest of the year to work on writing Season 6. Normally in November, I would do the book of the previous year's season. So this year I wrote Season 5. Now I'm writing book 4. Next year I will write Season 6. So I would write book 5. I'm not going to do book 5 next year. I'm going to hold off on that until 2027 because and this is like looking even further out, and this is like even potentially a little bit hazier, even though those are already kind of hazy goals. They're just like, a cool concept of what I would like to reach, but I don't know that I can actually necessarily hit those goals because when you're planning stuff, you don't know how long stuff's going to take to plan out. I don't know how some writers are able to just kind of like pull together an idea for an entire book in the course of like a couple days or a couple weeks. Like I need months to actually sit down and like actually sort this out and really get all the details figured out before I start writing so that I know all the little pieces work together. In 2027, the plan is to basically spend the entire year on pre-production, production, and then post-production editing for season 2 of the podcast. And that's assuming that I have enough money saved up from working all throughout this next year to be able to actually make it when I want to make it in the spring of 2027. After after season 2 is done being edited and is being released and the episodes are coming out, that is when I'll start writing book 5. And then depending on whatever time that is, because I don't know if season 2 is going to be ready to go. If I record it in, say, the spring of 2027 and then edit it for the rest of the year, maybe it's ready to go in the fall, or maybe it needs to wait until the following spring of 2028. I honestly don't know how long it's going to take to do. The first season took about 3 months to edit, and that was with me like not having a job. Like I was in between jobs at working at a TV show at the time, so I just like literally had months of like not having to work, and I'm not going to have that this time. I'm going to be working full time. I don't know that I'll be able to edit it in the same amount of time. Like I think I'm going to need to actually give myself extra time for that. So I'm giving myself basically the entirety of 2027 to work on season 2. So 26 is going to be some edits at the beginning of the year, then planning and writing season 6, and then we kind of pause on the writing until 2028 when ideally season 2 will either be out or will be currently airing. That's the look ahead. That's where we're going. Those are my main goals coming up. I would say like if I don't usually do like resolutions, but I would say one big resolution that I really do think that I should try and that I've never tried before is cutting back on writing a little bit, because this is the most important thing to me, and I treat it that way. So I focus on it every single day, every single moment that I have free time. I will write before I put any time aside to like hang out with people or to watch a TV show or to read a book or whatever. Like I always put the writing ahead of all that other stuff, and everything else kind of fits in the gaps around the writing after that is done for the day. I would like to be a little bit more conscious about trying to find time to focus on the other things that I enjoy. Like I would like to read a book during the day rather than just in the 30 minutes before I go to bed at night. Like that would be pretty cool. But I can't promise that that'll happen, because I know that once I am, in editing mode, I'm like, I have that deadline in mind, and the only way I can hit the deadline is if I just like kind of keep going for it. That's how I hit all my goals, but I don't want to burn out. I haven't actually had that issue before, but I've heard enough people deal with it that it does make me a little bit nervous that I could end up there, and I don't want to. So I want to be conscious about giving myself space, which is why I'm spacing out the season, because normally the season I give myself 3 months to write, because it'd be basically an episode a week and you can kind of like have a couple extra days here and there. I'm giving myself like basically the second half of the year to write season 6, because I think my work schedule is not going to allow for me to write it as quickly as I have been able to write previous seasons, but also because I want to be able to take a day off every now and then and not feel like I'm like losing the deadline. So that's the thought, that's the plan, and I hope, everyone has a happy new year, and I hope we have a good 2026. But we'll see where we land, I'll see you guys next time when we work on chapter 4.